Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for January the 23rd through the 29th, 2023. So before I begin, I'd just like to welcome everyone back to this weekly series and to also welcome anyone who may be new to our angelic wisdom community. So, just a few things before I do begin, in terms of just the space that we inhabit here on YouTube and just some things to be aware of. And so, first of all, I would like to remind you to select the all notification bell and to make sure that you're still getting your notifications, to like, dislike, and to also leave comments, most importantly. The comments really make our community, and it's just not for me. This is not for me to get sort of thanks and praise, but it's a place where we share our innate wisdom, and um, we never know who we're being called to support, to love unconditionally, and to give assistance to in a time of need. So I know many of us, like myself, I rarely leave comments, and it's because we're shy and we think about it um, a lot. But just know that this might be a way that you help somebody today. And so, although these social media accounts are all about liking and algorithms and promoting um, the I don't even know what I call myself, the content creator. I think that's the term. It's really, really about helping people. It's really about helping each other. It's about being there for one another. And I know that that's why what keeps me showing up each week. And because I get so much out of it myself. This is where this platform is where I have grown um, in my practice. And it's been the result of our unified engagement. And they keep writing the word respect. And I guess the only thing that comes to my mind is that is something that I think that we all, um, I know I respect that, and that we all need to respect that peace. It's a place of compassion. And so, yeah. Now, I'm going to be going away for 2 days this week on the 19th and the 20th. I'll be back on Saturday, but that doesn't matter anyway. Um, so, yeah, you'll be getting daily card messages. Um, and if there's an interruption, you'll know why. Um, but otherwise, they should be coming in pretty consistently. I do have some things coming up in this week that the reading is for. So like I have to do because when you get to a certain age, you have to do all these medical checkups. So I'm doing a colonoscopy and not excited about it, but nonetheless, it's like one day. I think it's on the 27th. What do I think? I think I know. I know it's on the 27th. I would like to forget it, but yeah. And so the 26th, I'll be, you know, preoccupied with that whole process in preparation for the 27th. So just, send me your prayers. I know it'll be fine, but um, I hate the before more than the actual procedure. Um, and also, let's see, if you're looking for an angel reading, You can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. And also, you, if you wish to just contribute to the channel, if you feel, um, you know, that you feel really supported here, then you can go to my PayPal me link, where you can just make a any donation that you wish. All right. Oh, and just a reminder, as well, I think this month in February, because I can't remember when I started. That's just how my mind is. You can still get my first time promotional offer, even if you are um, have had readings with me before. So just keep that in mind. That first time promotional offer is still available. All right. I'm noticing at these points where I was just talking about, when I just said that it was like 555, um, and then when I was talking about my um, colonoscopy, it was 444. So the angels are surrounding me and supporting all of us, and then 555 is about these huge changes rumbling through our lives at this time. So let's take a deep breath now. Oh, and I will also be trying to work on the monthly reading for February, and see if I have enough energy after all this stuff to get the um, monthly angel scopes, because it's been quite a long time. It's my hope to get those out at least in the beginning of February, if not before. Alrighty, so let's take a deep breath. And as I was preparing, I seen the word release again um, from the angels. And so just breathe deeply into your heart chakra. Give it a little rub, gentle circular rub, just indicating to open this center, and just allow the light that is there to shine out into the world, to shine around you and embrace you with the divine love of your soul and your higher self's wisdom, and the light and flow of Source. And we just call in now your guardians of light, these incredible, powerful beings who are your witness to all of your sacred effort and the offering of your gifts and talents, and who also witness your pain and your suffering and the errors, but still love you unconditionally. And they send you prayers and praise of light as they activate enormous abundance and prosperity. And they were showing me the tree trunk, and at the top, an eye. And the eye was the tree itself. So this gives me a sense that this is a tree spirit. And I could really sense the bark Now they're also showing me repeatedly the presence of a cow. So this could be related to um, a deity like Hathor, or I can't think of the name of the Hindu goddess that's in a cow, but it could be related to this divine mother. It's definitely the maternal, divine feminine, and this aspect of abundance and nurturance or nurturing that is available to you right now. And so it's really important for you to, and all these symbols seem to indicate, you know, your intuition, and that you might experience some kind of awakening or opening in your third eye, in your gifts of clairvoyance. And they write the word pause, as I feel that it's a time, they also wrote to me before I began, to breathe. So it's a time to breathe, to pause, to reflect. It's a time to use um, your discernment. And they just wrote the word ugly, as if to say, to use your third eye to help you to see oneness, to see the beauty beyond the illusion of ugliness. Now, they just wrote the word jungle, they write it again. And yes, we have this concept of that our world is like a jungle. And they're writing, yes, but they also want you to see it as divine, as divinity, not trying to escape the natural ways in which our the divine ways in which nature represents itself to us. And it's like every aspect of nature is sort of telling us a story about our place here on earth, and about the lessons that are available to us, and that the things that we go through in order to come through the other side of it all. And it is something that we have a trouble with, because our world, this the this creation that we live within, the planet Earth, reveals to us the how do I put this? It reveals to us the light and the dark in both its sacred, in its sacredness. And I'm seeing the word preservation. This sacred relationship that we view in nature of light and dark, there's a preservation. So that what I'm trying to get at, that the preservation of these sacred aspects of ourselves and of creation have endured alongside one another for eons of time. And they are in total harmony with one another, and have true acceptance of their roles and their purpose. They aren't fighting with it. They are, they have an intuitive and instinctive awareness of the sacrifices that ultimately will unfold. because they understand that what their purpose is, and that is accepted and understood. We have a very difficult time fighting, dealing with our own nature. You can just bear with me for a minute. In our own nature, there is most definitely this light and dark, and not always held in balance, especially with us. Now, in nature, it's always in balance until we interfere with their balance. But I would like for you to think of this light and dark as just energy. And as energy, they are creative sparks. They are the creative sparks of this reality in which we experience duality in order that they come together in all these various and innumerable ways to create life. They create life, they create realities, they create opportunities, they create possibilities, and they do it infinitely. These two energies. And our desire is always to be good, to be perfect. But the angels told me a very long time ago, almost 20 years ago, at the darkest era of my life, when I thought I was going to die and that there were no other options. And that's when all of this exploded for me. So out of that darkness emerged an incredible light, a light that I was completely unaware of in terms of the angelic realms and all of these things. I was not completely ignorant of it, but in the ways that it um, revealed itself to me, yes. I always say before that moment, I was really the living dead. And it wasn't until that very dark moment that I came alive and I was a truly living from that moment forward. And despite that awakening, this light, kind of light, brings on more suffering because everything that we believed or knew before, we lose. We experience, it's like a great death. It's a it's a grieving process. And so for some of us, we spend our entire spiritual practice suffering because of the rapid illumination and enlightenment that we experience, which just means that there's more loss, more to grieve, because we don't completely look forward. We keep looking back. And we become more afraid rather than more optimistic because we lose those core beliefs that were dysfunctional. And now they cannot function once they have been revealed. We have no use for them, and we know it. And that gives us a great deal of pain, causes a great deal of pain and suffering. So we struggle with our own nature. We struggle with the sacredness of the dark and the light. These two energies that we have to hold in balance with one another in order for them to create harmonious experiences like wealth, like love, like peace, like joy, like pleasure. But when we fight against one of them, we throw the other out of balance. And one cannot be without the other. There is no manifestation without it. You'll get manifestation, but it will never be to your liking, and you'll never observe it clearly because you are in resistant mode, you are in blaming mode. But do not think of the light and the dark as evil or good. These are two energies that the Creator made in order that we can have choices, possibilities. These two sacred forces are the energy, matter. Maybe one is dark matter, I'm not sure. But these forces are necessary in order for manifestation to occur. That is why we often associate them with masculinity and femininity in terms of spirituality, but because they create. That's why they were assigned these genders, you know, because these two genders in our physical understanding creates when they come together. So the light and the dark are meant to come together in order to create. But we're not just limited in our awareness and use of these by our reproductive organs. This is not the only purpose for that. That is one way to bring life, souls into the world, but they are used to bring other manifestations into existence through our gifts in our hands and our imagination and our effort and discipline and the labor of our hands and the feet, etc. So this is bigger than all of that. But if we keep persecuting one or the other, then we're not really working with all of our tools. And so, therefore, your life journey will be one mostly of suffering because your you're handicapping the inner sorcerer, if you will, as the source has created these two dynamics to I like to think of it as like a chemistry um, class with all the elements, and we just have this infinite combinations to work with in order to create reality. to create the realities we desire and are seeking. And we seek through the inspiration of our of the source of God. We seek through the inspiration of that. It is that co-creative process, that co-creation with God, that allows us to be blessed with bringing forth our greatest potential, our greatest gifts and talents that can transform our world. Now, this is something I was reading today. I don't know where. I know it was Dinah Cooper. It was something about her book, The Animal World, Archangel Guide of the Animal World. And I was reading about hares and rabbits because I dreamt about it last night. And what she was talking about how all the planets, everything in our Earth, our planet vibrates with these beautiful harmonies, and each being in it has its own sonics that, when we are in balance, resonates or is in alignment, or um, the tonal um, the tones that each thing and each individual is emitting is in alignment, so that it creates for our world these tones that harmonize with one another. When we are out of balance in any way, in a state of resistance, then we throw that harmony off, and it sort of becomes sort of something that sounds atonal. And our ascension process and our karmic um, um, sort of process of healing is all leading to coming back into harmony with the rest of the universe. And we can't do that while we keep struggling against nature, the nature of creation, which you and I are a part of. And I'm only identified it separately because we all, because of our level of consciousness, we can understand and perceive within ourselves this really incredible, awful imbalances that we keep fluctuating in and out of. We have this awareness, cognitive awareness, and we also have the ability to communicate to one another. Now, that does not diminish the communication of the other sentient beings on the planet. Their inability to us to communicate to us, their communication is a higher form than our words, because it's direct and clear, and it's the words that we have to use in order to communicate are slow. And many of the words are unnecessary. And so there is, because they're connected into that higher, um, those higher dimensions, and the telepathy basically at that level is it's not the word I'm looking for. I don't know why it's coming to my mouth first. It's satisfying, is because time does not exist there. So the length of our words in this time linear reality sort of fill in space, but there is no time nor space. So words, lengthiness is not necessary. A symbol communicates everything. It's like a download. And we get them because we're still a part of all of this. But we go through a very lengthy process to get it all out. So let me stop there because we're really going a long time here. so so just be aware of your energy and to accept your nature, where you are in your life, accept that. Accept and find that acceptance within your own nature to what it is that you are receiving of yourself, because whatever it is a projection of an illusion of beliefs that you kept feeding, and you cannot resist it in order to get out of it. You have to go through it, experience the lessons, the enlightenment and illumination in order for it to go away. So, one of the things I was feeling this morning as I was meditating for this is I was feeling anxiety. And I immediately recognized that it was not something that our ego tells us to be afraid of. We're afraid. I was resisting was the information that was coming towards me. This information, because that's what the universe is always bringing to us. Your anxiety is holding back that information. When you create fear, the universe, God, source, the angels step in immediately to offer the correction. And they do it by sending telepathic, clairvoyant information, clairsentient. Let's just use the word telepathic for now. They do it by sending telepathic information, and that information interacts with your adrenaline in your body, your nervous system, and it elevates, so it speeds it up. But our interpretation is to protect ourselves from that information because your ego wants it so. But as soon as I allowed it in by just breathing, just allow it in and open the doors of your heart. Because that's where that anxiety, we feel it. You can feel it now. Rub that chakra, open it, open the door, and let in the divine assistance that you need. And sometimes it might be you just need to go through this storm to see that your storm, the one you created, the one you've been anticipating because your ego created the scenario for you to believe it, is not as bad as you're thinking. And this way, you learned to distrust your ego when it proposes something for you to be fearful about or anxious about. And in time, there's no magic here. Not proposing magic. I'm not teaching magic in the way that we like to think of it, where instantly away. And this magic happens in seasons and time in this earth plane. This is the way magic happens. It's slowed down. And you and I don't like it because we remember not being restrained by time and space. But there's a reason for this process here. So the magic that the Earth School allows us to develop a discipline. When you are free of your body, you will have enormous power and you'll bring it back to your next lifetime. Trust me, it's already better in this lifetime, even though you might be living the most horrendous experiences. That's your magic. That's your projection. You're drawing not the specifics of it, because I'm not telling you that you've asked yourself to be hurt or somebody else to be harmed or someone else to die. But you're not responsible for those around you. You're only responsible for yourself, despite our relationship dynamics and the roles that we are portraying while we're in the earth school. You're still only responsible for yourself. You don't make things happen to other people. They're not. There are some people who are powerful enough to do that, but most people's minds are too scattered to do that, and that's why the earth school helps us with the discipline by going through the process in a way that is slow so that we can develop the discipline, the focus to eliminate and to discern, etc. I think you get where I'm going with this. So let's take a look at the Archangel. Uh-huh. You know, while I was shuffling, 3 cards fell out, and I put them all back. One, because I get tired of my decks getting ruined, and I've asked them not to have any jumpers, but this was one of them, and I had a feeling that one of them would come back. This is the Seraphim Seraphiel, and it says, "Tune into the divine will, open to higher illumination." So the seraphim are 12th dimensional angels who surround the Godhead, and they hold the sonics that um, that keep the purity around the Godhead, so that all is always held in oneness and perfect divine order. But they also transmit these 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 downloads, keys and codes of great and deep remembering from the source out through the universe itself, through the cherubim and the guardian angels and archangels, and it is broken down and brought to us at a level of downloads where we can understand them. So the thing I'm getting about this right now, and I'm saying the word respect again, is to respect your downloads. Respect the information that's coming to you. That's to say, no longer through your anxiety, use it as an excuse to escape. They want you to receive, open to the illumination, because the illumination that's coming to us now is coming from very, very high frequencies, higher dimensions within our universe to support us and to help us be an activation for others as well. So you are participating in some grander project within the universe right now. And in order to receive it, you have to stop blocking it by accepting your nature and accepting the nature of this planet and the universe itself. I don't see the word resignation. So hand in your resignation to this old paradigm, to your ego, and let it know that you're no longer a servant of it. You will no longer be driven by its illusions, the paranoia, the gossip, the conspiracy theories. None of this will you no any longer participate in. You will not participate in over overly aggressive or um, out of proportionate, um, you know, say, how to say, methodology or theology or ideology. You will not go to extremes, but you will remain in a place of balance. That is a lot of information in so little time. This is the longest reading I've ever done, but because of the time. And they just saw the angel number 830. And it says, "Heaven has heard your prayers for financial assistance and is helping you increase your financial flow. Be sure to notice and follow any intuition that guides you to take positive action, as this is a primary way in which heaven helps you help yourself. So, heaven is trying to help you to help yourself. That is how the primary role of the universe. It is not here to tell you what to do, but it's here to help you help yourself. And right now, the situations that you're going through, the anxiety that you're feeling, that's information coming to you to help yourself. So if a change is creating fear within, anxiety within you, breathe and be objective, meaning look at both aspects of the pros and cons. Don't look at them as opposing ideas to the other, but look at the pros and cons as both sacred aspects of the divinity, of the divine, of this divine opportunity for yourself. All right. So we have the Lover's card, and there are two Lover cards in this deck. I didn't. One has a man and a woman, and it could be whatever situation applies to you. But um, this is a situation where I feel here the Lovers transcends just romantic love, and it goes to the love of of your higher self, that you are have an opportunity this week to come in alignment and balance, peace and cooperation, what the number 6 also represents, with your I am presence. And so get the feeling that this is a week for you where the things that matter truly matter to you and that are in alignment with your soul's purpose here, with your particular gifts and talents and skills and abilities and capabilities. They're writing the word justice, meaning are discernibly in alignment with you, are appropriate for you. So be open to them, be open to all of it in this week. All right, and then we have the sun. And so this card is giving us a sense of sort of energy, right? Success, a feeling of total optimism. And we see we're riding on the back of this horse. You are the innocent child riding on the back of this pure white energy, this pure white horse. And white is representing ascension here, that enlightenment, purity, that you, that this inspiration or opportunities, the success that you're going to have this week is going to be in alignment with that purity of your soul, of your heart. And so there's a sense of knowing and feeling it deeply and witnessing it. um there, just with these two cards, it's like things coming together. um I get a sense of you being successful in anything that you attempt this week, that you're gonna feel just sort of empowered, and your offerings will be empowering to others and fulfilling and satisfying, and that you have this opportunity to really bathe in this. Now, this is interesting because last week's all major arcanas, and that indicates an incredible paradigm shift here. And so, whatever you're experiencing or dealing with, um, know that this is all really about the divine guiding and opening paths, even through your struggles. Now, here we have the embodiment of swords, and this is the King of Swords. Okay, so this is the embodiment of the intellect, of discernment. We've just seen it before. I told you I was seeing the Justice card, and that double-edged sword, that discerning, that mind, that clarity. And when we act with a clear mind, an unbiased mind, I think the most important thing here is the word unbiased or non-judgmental, that we're not taking sides, that we're no longer, and this goes back to the whole conversation before this about embracing these two sacred energies. Once you stop classifying them as good and evil, right or wrong, and you just see them as tools, this will be the beginning of your ascension process, because this is where peace can begin to be laid as a foundation in your life, and where love and strength and confidence can be the jewels you wear in your crown of authority. So this is the what you need to embody in this week as these opportunities unfold. Do not judge them. When you weigh pros and cons, do not judge them against the other. It's just information that you're taking for yourself to see what your spirit resonates with, because you don't want to fight with anything. You want to resonate with it. And so there's some things you don't resonate with. And that's okay, because that's weighing the pros and cons. That's just taking in the information. It's okay to take in information, but when you use it to create conspiracy theories, or it turns into paranoia, then you are throwing your energy out of balance. And they're writing that word energy. And that's what they want to help you avoid. Okay, so we have here the Two of Pentacles, it says, the script. Let me just check. Yep. Although we see these three, I forgot what they are. You all know what they are. But they're floating up in the sky. And it's the idea here, like you're throwing things up in the air, you're juggling things in the air, and you you have two hands. You know you're going to catch two, but there's going to always be that third just looming out there. And you have to keep going with the flow in order to really keep this juggling act sort of flowing, right? And so if you take your eye off or worry, you'll drop the whole thing. So I feel like there is, okay, so you might have a few little, so that third, all those two pentacles, but there's that third object here that throws off the balance. There's a reason for that. And it's to kind of keep you on your toes, so to speak, keep you from overthinking, keep you from not being in your body. Because as you're having to juggle this, you're having to really focus on your body and how to balance your body in order to keep the flow of these three objects. And so you might be feeling a little overwhelmed by your heart's desire being right in your grasp, and the success that you've always wanted, and the abundance that you've needed is now in your grasp. But there are these choices that you have to make, and you have to juggle a few extra things that you weren't expecting to juggle. And it's just there to keep you on your toes, to keep you in your body so that you're not overthinking, being overly judgmental, or coming up with conspiracies like, oh, maybe if I take that job, they'll do this and then I'll get in there and I'll be stuck, all that kind of stuff that we come up with. That's your ego. That stuff is never going to happen unless you keep sending out the thoughts, which turn into pictures, which then are, when we see pictures, that is why illusion seems so real to us, because what we see, we draw intense emotion to it in order to inform our nervous system of how to behave. And so basically, through the thoughts that you send out and the pictures that those thoughts make and the emotions that they trigger, wow, this is information I never knew before. Okay. You train your nervous system to physically, emotionally, and mentally and spiritually react, thereby throwing it out of whack, out of balance, or into alignment and into harmony with what it is that you truly, your soul truly wants to be bonded with. All right, so I'm going to stop here because this sounds like an energy lesson. And I don't want to lose your attention. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and I trust that this information will resonate through you and that more information will come. So if you're feeling anxiety, breathe and let that information beyond what I have shared in, and leave it in the comment section. Have a beautiful, beautiful week, and God bless you.